Welcome to Forbidden Planet TV. I'm Andrew Sumner. But more importantly, this is the one and only Dan Slott. How are you, brother?
Hi, great, Andrew. Great for having me over.
Well,
Thanks for having me over.
yeah, thanks for joining us again. And this time, last time you were on, we were talking about your great Doctor Who special published by Titan Comics, available from the links attached to this conversation. But what we're here to talk about this time is the collected edition, Volume 1 collected edition of your Fantastic Four, The Reckoning War.
The Reckoning War.
Before I ask you about that very book, I was chatting with our mutual acquaintance, your friend, your editor, sometimes editor, Tom Brevoort recently, and on the show, and he was telling me how long exactly you've had this concept in your mind for, and how long it's been turning up at the various Marvel creative retreats. So please, brother, tell us, what is the Reckoning War?
The Reckoning War. It is a story that has been brewing in the Marvel universe for since way back when, since days of Lee and Kirby. It is rooted in a key piece of Marvel lore, which is the mighty Watchers were not always Watchers. We all know them as these all-powerful beings who've taken an oath never to interfere. But if you've read your Marvel comics, you know there's a reason they took that oath. Before they started just watching everything and keeping their hands off, they were running around the universe doing things. They were just doing things left and right and all over the place. And at one point, they met this race called the Priscilicans, a savage race, and they thought they would elevate them by giving them Watcher level technology. And what these guys did was they took the Watcher level technology and they built weapons with it, and they went around the universe and they almost conquered the entire universe. They were like, it was like if you gave cavemen atomic bombs, and it almost blew up the whole universe with their bloody war. And the Watchers looked at this and went, we messed up. We now will all take a big vow to never again interfere. And it was believed that this giant cataclysmic war wiped out all of the Priscilicans. What we have said is that the Priscilicans changed their name to the Reckoning as soon as they started going around the universe destroying everything. And what you find out now in the Reckoning War is that a handful of them have survived all these years. They have been hidden in places where even the Watchers can't see them. So it is this brutal race of aliens who have spent time immemorial planning and scheming with Watcher level technology, ready to reawaken the first war of the Marvel universe.
Wow. I mean, that says it all. And I again, Tom told me that you'd been actually seeding concepts for years and years in your Marvel writing about where you've got to now.
When I was 8, I read Son of Origins of Marvel Comics, which gave the origin of the Watchers and the origin of their oath. And it planted a seed in me that went, there's brutal aliens with Watcher technology. If they ever came back, we'd be screwed. From age 8, I've had this story in my heart where I wanted to eventually tell, oh, no, they survived and they're back and the whole Marvel universe is in danger. And I've kind of watched from the sidelines as the decades have rolled by and different writers have come and gone, and just been gleefully happy that no one has ever touched the Priscilicans.
Did you find your heart was in your mouth thinking, surely this person's going to... Oh, no, they're not.
Al Ewing scares the hell out of me.
So Al, our countryman Al is the master of cosmicity, is he not? That's his thing.
There's so many times where I'm thinking Al Ewing's going to do this, or Jason Aaron is going to do this in Thor, or someone's going to use the Priscilicans. In 2004, I worked at Marvel in the 90s, and then I went away and I worked for DC. And then I came back in 2004 with my first ongoing Marvel superhero book, She-Hulk. And the second I had a book at Marvel, I was like, I'm planting seeds for this. I'm going to do this someday. I will do the Reckoning War. So in the first run of She-Hulk, there is the setup for the Reckoning War. And in the second run of She-Hulk, we just come out and say it. The TVA, who you might now know from Loki, take She-Hulk into the future and show her that she is the cause of the Reckoning War. So we've actually seen it seeded 17 years ago by name, but it was really seeded 18 years ago. So this is a story 18 years in the making. And there have been little pieces and clues and hints dropped in almost every single Marvel book I've done outside of Spider-Man. It's all there, all the little puzzle pieces. And there isn't a single comic convention I've gone to where there's question and answer time, where someone, it's usually the second to last person in the line, gets up to the microphone and goes, "When are you doing the Reckoning War? When?" So
that person ever had an English accent, mate. It was me. So
every con all over the world, you know, people who've been reading my stuff all want to know when are you doing the Reckoning War? When are you doing it? And it didn't feel like a story that would feel right in Spider-Man. So when I finally like, ooh, I've got the Fantastic Four, I've got a cosmic book. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do the Reckoning War.
I mean, it seems to me something that's particularly delightful about working in the comic book industry is that you can be a creator like yourself at the top of your field. You spend a long time creating like broad canvas narratives for a very famous publishing company with characters that are part of the fabric of human entertainment in the modern world. But you actually get to do something like you've just done. Seed this this mega story. It must be so satisfying to get to the point where you can actually write it.
It is a giant, literal, cosmic weight off my shoulder. One of the nice things is there are no other stories like this. There's nothing else I've seeded. Once this is done, I can live in the present. I can just amble through fields and smell all the roses and not live in constant fear of Al Ewing's.
and who's on this, working on this collected edition?
We started off with Carlos Pacheco and Carlos Magna doing a giant one-shot called Reckoning War Alpha. Yeah. And that sold out and coming back to press for a second printing. And then over in FantasticFour, for all of our Reckoning War issues, famed Doctor Who artist Rachel Stott is joining me. Yeah. So just someone who came up through the system at Titan.
Yes, yeah, so, right on.
Yay.
Nurtured here in the walls of Titan HQ.
Titan HQ, and we stole her. And now she is on FantasticFour, and she is killing it. She's killing it on FantasticFour. And in this story, she gets to draw everything. She gets to draw Asgard and the Shi'ar galaxy and the FF and She-Hulk and Jack of Hearts, and Silver Surfer and Galactus. Everything's in this. It's the whole Marvel universe.
But until you said that, I hadn't really thought about what's obvious, which is what an amazing training ground Doctor Who is, preparation Doctor Who is, because Rachel's not a person who needs any training, she's amazing. But what a great preparation it is for working on the Fantastic Four, working on the cosmic side of Marvel.
Cosmic. Yeah, anything we throw at Rachel, she can draw it. And a lot of that is because of, she's had to draw everything literally in time and space. So Rachel's just killing it on all of this. One of my old friends from my run of The Thing, Andrea DeVito, is going to pop in for a little bit with some Doctor Doom stuff. We've got a one-shot. I don't know what the calendar is over there, but it's coming out next week here in America. Javier Rodríguez. It is one of my favorite one-shots I've ever worked on. It is Reckoning War Trial of the Watcher.
Oh yeah, man.
And
Can't wait for that.
The premise of this, I have had the premise for this one shot for so long. I wanted to tell this story. You all know the Watcher from What If, both the comic and now the TV show.
Yeah.
You have the Watcher. He's promised never to interfere. So, of course, he's interfered a million times. But while he's promised not to interfere, he sits on the moon, and to amuse himself, he looks through the apex of all reality, and he looks at all the different what ifs, like it's his own TV show. He just sits there and goes, "I'm bored. I wonder, what if the X-Men were vampires? Let's watch that." That's what he does. That's what he just sits there and goes, "What if Peter Parker stopped the burglar? Let's watch that." That's what he is. It's even better than Rod Serling with Twilight Zone. It's this big bald guy on the moon who just goes, "I'd like to see a what if. What if Captain America were president?" You know, that's how he spends his days. And I realized really early on that there's a what if he should really watch. There's a what if that is the most logical what if for the Watcher to watch. And he's never watched it. He has never seen this what if. And it is the one that makes the most sense. And there's a reason why he hasn't watched it. It's the what if he's afraid to watch. And in this one-shot special, the other Watchers are shoving him into a Clockwork Orange chair, prying his eyes open, and forcing a Uatu to watch the one what if that scares him. That's the special.
That is, mate, that is an epic concept. That is an epic concept. You should write comic books for a living. That's amazing.
When the camera goes off, I'm going to tell him what it is. Yeah. I'm not telling it to you. I'm going to tell it to him.
Well, I think
you got to read it.
That's right. I think that's the perfect moment to say, this has been the mighty Dan Slott telling me, maybe not all of you, but me, about the fabric of the Trial of the Watcher, which you can order from the links attached here, and the collected edition of Fantastic Four Reckoning War Volume 1. Order from the links attached here. An amazing narrative, almost 20 years in the making. Dan, thanks for joining us, mate. It's always a real pleasure to chat with you.
Oh, so much fun. I thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Always. See you soon, mate. Take care. And tell me about this storyline now, as soon as we wave goodbye. As soon as the subs ad kicks in. Take care, mate. If you're enjoying watching Forbidden Planet TV and you're enjoying watching us talk to the world's most interesting and accomplished filmmakers, authors, artists, musicians, creators, subscribe right here. See you soon.